Welcome to Ready to Mosh, a podcast all about rock, metal and alternative music. I'm Kev P.
And I'm Jem J. Each episode will bring you the latest news, talk about new releases and review gigs and festivals that we've been to. There'll be a smattering of guest interviews and a lot of random chat.
As well as the podcast, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at Ready to Moshcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Ready to Mosh. This week we have our first guest interview. We have 2/3 of Syncolima, Josh and Stoff. In the episode we talk about how the band began, the news that they're going to be playing Bloodstock this year, and they also face the quickfire round.
Right, so we've got a special episode this week. We've got the guys from Syncolima. So we've got Josh and we've got Stoff. How are you doing, guys?
Doing good.
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're all good.
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
Right, so I suppose right at the beginning, how did Syncolima form?
It's a bit of a lockdown project, really, wasn't it? It was around about January last year. Me and Gaz used to be in a band together, and that all kind of dissipated over lockdown. And then Gaz was living in Ilkeston, and he moved to Mansfield, where I'm from. And then he called me up and said, "I'm ready to start a band now." It's like, okay, let's start a new band. Who do we know who can sing and play guitar? Josh was at the top of the list, so I gave him a call, and he said, so like, beginning of last year, we just kind of got together over lockdown and started doing what we can, really.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you were saying that you formed, was it February 21?
Yeah. So it was about the beginning of last year. So we started sort of chatting in January, February time, and then started sort of getting real proper ideas down from sort of April onwards, really, when we're allowed in people's houses. Not allowed to practice yet, but allowed in houses and back gardens.
Yeah, back garden jams to start with.
Okay, and where does the name Syncolima come from?
Well. Do you want to take this one, Josh?
Yeah. So one of the answers is that the Syncolima fruit is a Filipino fruit that gives it gives power to the person who eats it, the power of rhythm and intelligence and vitality. Yeah.
And just following on from that, when you messaged us a couple of weeks ago after we mentioned you in a podcast and you said thanks for getting the name right, how do people get it wrong?
Oh, well, I don't know how, but it just seems to be awkward for some people.
Syncolima is quite a popular mystery.
Okay.
Some people some people, just because it's not a recognisable word, they just sort of take a run up and like get the beginning right, but then just freak out halfway through. So think llama giraffe and stuff like that, and just really get it wrong. But,
we've had Syncolima, Synlokima.
Synlokima. Like what?
Some stuff. I mean, I think it's quite easy. It might be a bit of a tongue twister if you put on the spot, but it's...
Bless him, our mate Jack from Cottonmouth. We played more gigs with Cottonmouth than we have with any other band. And for the longest time, Jack couldn't say it, could he? Yeah. And he kept trying to shout us out on stage, bless him, because he's such a nice guy. Always got it wrong.
You guys just screaming, no, you've got it wrong again.
Well, the last time we did it, you got it right. And I was in the front going, yeah, you nailed it, man. You did it.
But, I mean, after that, we kind of went on. It's like, oh, thanks to Jack from Notting Calf.
Yeah. So who and what are your influences? Kind of like musically, who's kind of like what's kind of shaped the band?
I guess you'd call me the band leader.
No, sometimes.
I don't want to assume that title. I'm the band leader. I've always been into like stoner groovy stuff, and so for the sort of first part, 75% of the stuff I'd sort of brought in as ideas to begin with, and we'd mashed them all up. But anything sort of groovy, stonery. So I really like Clutch, Sabbath, Orange Goblin, Caius, the desert kind of rock.
You like riffs played on the pentatonic scale with triplets in?
Yes. Anything in 12/8 time in triplets.
But then me and Gaz are into slightly different things. Gaz is into a lot of 80s stuff, and he...
Yeah, drummers were always weird.
I like sort of a lot of like poppier things than you, and that's where some of the choruses and things came from. It's just
because me and Josh kind of cross over in that stoner territory, but whereas I kind of go into weird stuff like Mr. Bungle and Faith No More and things like that, you kind of like pop punk.
Yeah, I drift over towards Blink-182 rather than Mr. Bungle.
You pretty much get really intricate riffs and then a really catchy chorus. Hopefully.
Kind of like some of the things that came through when I've been listening to the album was definitely Clutch. You could hear Clutch was definitely an influence there. But I also kind of got a bit of Ugly Kid Joe as well on a couple of the tracks.
Yeah, we kind of picked up a strange grunge vibe. Yeah. And it's not intentional. I mean, we all like grunge, but it's just kind of
yeah, there is a lot of that.
Yeah,
but I don't think we at any point set out with any of the riffs or the songs like, right, we want this to sound like this. It was just a case of here's an idea. It's a good idea. We like the idea.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. And then what came out was just sort of the sound of the three of us doing what we do together and trying to work out how to do that really on the first record.
We tried not to put any sort of boxes around ourselves. I mean, one track on the album, Laguna, I kind of wrote that by accident. I kind of wrote the bass riff with the clean guitar over the top. And I sent it to the guys like, I wrote this. Check this out. And they're like, that's amazing. We need to turn that into a song. I'm like, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like, I was just messing around, but like it evolved into that song. So it's kind of like, there really are no limits. Let's just sort of do what we can, sort of thing.
Yeah, that was a really important like song in like the development of our whole like ethos, because that was sort of different from that stoner thing, and then it's got the verse part, which is just those like do it chords, and it was all a bit different, and it just was like, well, if we can do that, do whatever we want. And we're writing songs for the second record, and we're pushing it even further on that with like the sounds and the ideas that we're using.
Yeah, so it's evolution rather than pigeonhole. So when people say, what do you sound like? Well, the first record kind of sounds a bit stonery, and then the second record might sound half stonery and then a bit more weirder as well. And then who knows what it's going to sound like in the future. But we just want to make the best music that we can make together.
Well, he's certainly coming along well. That first album, I've listened to that a lot since I think it would have been the Mangata Festival playlist, wouldn't it?
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was like 4 months. I mean, if you remember last year, I mean, we couldn't, I think the pubs only opened again, like inside from like May onwards. So we couldn't rehearse properly in a rehearsal studio until like May, and we couldn't gig at all. So it was just like, let's just jam and write songs. And if we can't gig, we'll write an album. So we worked up to that. So we had no sort of pressure in terms of, we're gigging this week, we're gigging next week. And we got, we've got 10 songs. Are we allowed to swear?
Just say whatever you want. Yeah, it's absolutely fine.
And it's like, oh crap, we got 10 songs together. That's enough for an sure we record an album. And it was like, boom, like I think it was the end of June last year. So after like 4 months, we got 10 songs together, recorded the album, and then things got better, and we were able to sort of gig from August, and we've been gigging from there, and got the album out, and then it was like, right, next, let's write the next album.
When it comes to writing the music then, do you normally write the riffs first, or do the lyrics come first, or is it like a mixture of both?
It's riffs first.
Yeah.
Always riffs first. Yeah. Lyrics are like the last thing normally to be done. Sort of it goes like riffs, and then we'll have whoever's come up with the riffs, usually it's you, but sometimes it's been me, and Gaz has written one song on this new album, and then we bring it in without lyrics, kind of play it in the rehearsal studio with all of us there, and work on the arrangements and stuff, and start thinking about vocal melodies, but then the lyrics are the last part to get done.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like I might have one riff that I'll bring in. I've got this one riff, and then we might work on it together.
Yeah.
Or I might attempt a whole song and be like, I'm kind of stumped on how it goes together, but I've got this collection of riffs, and then we'll take it to the group and we'll take it apart and piece it together. Because Gaz, our drummer, he's really good at like arranging. So he goes, no, that should be a verse, that should be. And lyrically as well, both Josh and Gaz are best at piecing together melodies and lyrics and things like that. And yeah, it's kind of a collective effort once that initial spark has started.
It's sort of like, it is like when you get stuck in it, then you just like, well, when you get stuck, when I get stuck, like I've got this, most of a song, half of a song, but like, help me finish it. And then that's the sort of process.
Middle eight's always the hardest.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, what's been your favourite show that you've played so far?
I've got a real soft spot for that one in Wales. Where was that? You know, that tiny little stage.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
It was so odd. Like,
where was it?
just over the bridge. I can't remember what the place is called.
Just over the bridge. South.
It was just
Chepstow.
Chepstow. It was one of the first gigs we played, wasn't it?
It was quite early on. I think it was December, November.
No, before that. It was last autumn sometime.
Yeah.
The stage was so small. It was covered in water and broken glass. I don't know why. It was.
Like people would walk in and then they'd knock the PA speakers and stuff, and it's like that.
Yeah,
But it's just
the sound guy wasn't even at his desk. He was just trying to hold the speakers up like this. The whole the place was so full, they kept getting knocked over. The mic stand kept getting knocked over, and it was just awesome. It was just so that was really punk rock, and that was really fun. At the other end of the scale, like Mangata Fest, that was pretty.
Mangata Fest was awesome.
Nice stage there. The stage at the Rescue Rooms.
Rescue Rooms was always nice.
Yeah.
The professional sound.
It's it's a cool little setup they've got there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. My mind's gone blank. Like, what gigs have we played? When we supported Evil Scarecrow at Yardbirds back in April.
That was fun.
That was awesome because it was like a proper. They've sort of got their gear set up. They did their sound check with all the props and everything like that. And then we just kind of set up in front. And because they go ampless on stage, they plug straight into their own desk and they've got an ear feeds. We got to take our own engineer with us who set a rig up for us. So we had all this big backline and everything and all of them, proper, spent a lot of time getting the sound check right, which often at normal gigs, it's like 15-minute changeovers, boom, you're on, kind of deal with it. Half an hour later, you're like, oh, I've played crap. But this was proper taking your time to get the sound and levels right and everything. And that was, and Yardbirds is really nice too. Really cool.
That sounds really cool. Yeah.
So obviously we came across you because of Mangata Festival. How did you actually end up getting booked for Mangata? Were you just approached by the promoters?
We've known Chris, both of us, in different bands for ages and ages.
Yeah. I've done shows for Chris in the past in different bands. And when we got the album out at the end of last year, it was sort of around about the time they were taking on bands for the Metal to the Masses as well. So we applied for that, and then he just sent an email saying, "Oh, we've got this new festival next year. Do you guys want to play it?" I'm like, "Of course we do. Yeah, that'd be awesome." And then as it grew and the poster grew, it's like, "Oh crap, we're on the main stage."
He hooked us up with a really wow.
So that was unexpected, but very cool, and it turned out to be an amazing weekend.
So were you not told that you were going to be main stage then?
No, it just says, "Can you play on the Saturday?" And then we'll sort of feed you information as it comes along. And then there was the poster come out, that initial sort of threw on the first poster, one of the first bands to get booked along with the other bands that were on there. And it's like, oh, does that mean we're on the main stage? Yeah. Oh, cool. So it's just yeah. But we kind of left that up to him because he knows what he's doing. So he's got a plan and it looks like it worked very well.
Yeah.
We think it went really well. We're hoping there's going to be more of those. Yeah. It was a really good weekend.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Hopefully he'll have us back next year. Well, he won't have us back because he's retired now.
Yeah, so Laura, his partner from Ike, is looking after it now, but it'll still be going ahead, so we'll have to be nice to Laura now.
Nice to everyone all the time, though, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, yeah, true. That's true.
So you mentioned Metal to the Masses and that you applied for that. So I suppose kind of following on for that, how did the Bloodstock booking come about?
Well, we were sort of progressing through unexpectedly because we are a bit different. I mean, there's a big metalcore presence in Nottingham now, which is cool. So we were a bit different to everyone else. So we were surprised the fact that we got all the way through to the final. And it was there's only 3 bands in the final, so it's like, bloody hell. And then sort of Simon from Bloodstock couldn't make it because he's injured himself, bless him. But he normally goes to every single final and makes the decision, but he couldn't make ours. So Chris was like, Simon's told me that there is an opportunity to play on the Jagermeister stage for the band that doesn't win, so second or third place or whatever. So okay, so we kind of played, and then the next morning, Simon had emailed me. It's like Jaeger stage. I'm like, you kid.
That's going to be really cool, and I suppose it's going to open you guys up to, I suppose, a bigger audience as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the minute... Sorry, Josh. I'm just talking.
Continue.
But the minute you get announced for that as well, you get the fanzines and podcasts such as yourself that want to, I'm doing a thing on for Bloodstock. Can I take an interview? Like Moshfield Times and the Razor's Edge have been in touch, and that's instantly, you'll fill out a questionnaire thing and they'll publish it and share it about, like the Road to Bloodstock for the New Blood and Jaeger stage bands, which is great. And then it's instantly more people that know that you exist, and I played the Jaeger stage before about 7 years ago, and it's one of my favourite stages to play because it's small and intimate. And there's the flip side of things. If anything goes tits up, it's not like a big tent like the New Blood or Sober stage, where if people aren't there, it really does look and feel empty. Whereas the Jaeger stage is kind of small and compact, and it's not enclosed. So even if there's 20 to 30 people there, it's still like a good crowd.
Ah, okay.
Do you get to take any merch along to Bloodstock?
Yeah, we can. I think we've got just picked up an order of T-shirts last week, and we've got some CDs, so we'll be selling CDs and T-shirts at Bloodstock.
Okay, we'll look out for those.
I was actually looking at the merch online the other day, I think it was. So I'll probably get some before Bloodstock, but are you there all weekend?
You are.
I'm there all weekend. I think the guys are there all day Friday and bitting and bobbing. So
back to work on Sunday.
Are you at work?
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's life, isn't it? But they're looking well. At least they said I could have the Friday off. that would have been a kick in the balls, isn't it? To quit my job to play Bloodstock.
Yeah, that is pretty rock and roll.
No, they were cool about it. They were like, no, have the Friday.
Okay, cool. Is it the quickfire round?
I think we're moving on to the quickfire round.
So don't think too much about this. Just kind of give us your first thing that comes into your head, and then, I don't know, maybe a reason why.
Yeah. Do you want to do the first one?
Okay. I'll do the first one then.
Okay. What was the first album you owned?
It was Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
Ooh, painful.
It's not bad.
Oh, painful.
Gorillaz debut album.
Sorry, what was that?
The Gorillaz debut album.
The Gorillaz debut album?
Yeah. It was just before I got into metal, so it was a toss-up between... I remember I was in Woolworths, and it was like, they'll buy the Gorillaz album and the Crawling by Linkin Park single, or the Linkin Park album, or the Clint Eastwood single, because I don't really like that album. So I ended up with the Gorillaz album and the Linkin Park single. And then I turned 14 and found Metallica, and it was all done.
it went on from there.
Yeah.
Mine for me, you remember those clubs you used to get where you pay a subscription and you have to pick a load of tapes or CDs to get each month?
Oh yeah,
remember that kind of?
Yeah. Remember those?
Yeah.
And in with her whatever month, so she got me Bon Jovi.
Showing his age now. I was in Woolworths, and he had a monthly.
Yeah, we had a monthly subscription to the tape club. Yeah.
Okay, then. So, what would be your death row meal? So you get a starter, a main, a pudding, and a drink.
Wow.
Chicken goujons with garlic mayonnaise, full slap up Nando's, and then pudding, all the chocolate, everything, chocolate cheesecake, gatto chocolate.
What would you have to drink?
Asti Spumante.
What's that?
Really nice stuff out at Christmas.
Oh, okay.
You're a chef. You're going to come out with some big words now, aren't you?
Oh, a chefy meal, really. Well, no, I think main course I'd have a nice piece of meat. This isn't a very chefy answer, but I'd have the fillet steak, not the ribeye, because I prefer fillet. Starters, I don't know, man.
You look like a garlic mushrooms kind of guy.
No. I mean, I don't mind that, but your death row meal. Oh, it's difficult, this is. I like chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Can I have that as a starter?
If that's what you want as your starter, then you can have chicken nuggets.
Or a load of Ben & Jerry's ice cream for pudding. What to drink, though? I don't know. I'll just have a cup of tea.
What was the first gig that you went to?
Thunder at the Assembly Rooms in Derby when I was 12.
System of a Down at the Ice Arena when I was 14.
Pretty solid answers, those. I'm impressed with the gigs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, mine was Thunder, but they were supporting Bon Jovi, so technically Thunder were the first band I saw too.
In that case, then, Dillinger Escape Plan supported System of a Down on that tour, so that was intense.
That's a good support.
Yeah, that was intense.
Really good support.
I didn't get it at the time. I thought it was silly, but I appreciate that.
Is it one of those you look back on and go, actually, that was really cool?
Well, they were there trucking the guitars around like that. You know how kind of aggressive and showman they are, as well as being ridiculously technical. And I'm just listening to Metallica and nu metal, and it's like, what the hell is this?
What is this insanity?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your favourite crisps?
Hula hoops.
Hula hoops, what flavour?
Just ready salted.
Really solid.
They're really nice on a tuna sandwich.
I quite like a tortilla chip, like a Dorito.
Okay.
Cool.
What flavour?
Cool original. It's not very exciting, is it?
Oh, I've never been a fan. I'm a cheesy Dorito man all the way.
Oh, and I don't like the way it makes your fingers go orange. Just don't like orange fingers.
What would be your dream tour lineup? So kind of headliner, maybe a couple of supports. You can include yourselves in that if you want to.
We have bands from the past.
Yeah,
anybody you want.
It's a dream, so you
it's
can
your
have
dream.
what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. A Black Sabbath headlining back in the 70s when they were all young and incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Nirvana as the sort of the main support back when they were all alive. And I don't know who's opening. We'll open. Why not? We'll open that gig.
Right. Again, we'll open. And then I want like Led Zeppelin from like the 70s, Sabbath from the 70s. And then poor John Deacon is taken ill and somebody needs to play bass for Queen. So do a 2-hour set for Queen with Freddie. That'd be awesome.
Imagine how much the tickets would be for that show. Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and Queen.
Oh, yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You'd need £1,000 to go and see that.
Yeah, but we're playing, so we're probably getting paid
we're getting for free,
£1,000.
that's true.
Yeah, you guys will be fine. You've got your AAA.
I would happily play that for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Donate my fee to the crowd. People in.
What's your pre-gig drink?
You just changed yours, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was a big craft ale drinker, but as I'm getting on in my life, my body has decided it doesn't like that anymore. So I'm on a 6-week hiatus from beer. So I've been drinking gin and lemonade.
Delicious.
Okay.
Which is, well, it's refreshing, it's crisp, and you can still get your buzz on, ready to play.
I like this is really boring. Water is very good for my throat before I play and for remembering the words. But I do quite like a glass of cider sometimes before we play, but not every time. Sometimes I go sober.
Yeah.
It's not very exciting, that is it? What's really important before a gig is vocal zones. Loads of vocal zones for a smooth vocal performance.
Perfect sense for a vocalist.
Yeah.
If you were a biscuit, what biscuit would you be?
Jaffa cake, definitely. Love Jaffa cake.
I can't stand Jaffa.
I don't know, but they're not really a biscuit, they're a cake.
They're not a biscuit,
It's
no.
controversial.
Only for tax reasons.
Well,
For tax reasons, exactly.
Well, I love a good hobnob, but that's saying a lot about myself. I'm probably like a rich tea or something lame.
Nah, more exciting than that.
I think I'm a rich tea that thinks he's a hobnob because I'm soft inside.
What about you, Josh?
Oh, is Jaffa Cake's disqualified, is it?
Yeah, we can't have a Jaffa cake. It's cake.
Against the rules, mate.
Oh, I'll be a bourbon then. Yeah, I'm chocolatey.
A nice filling.
Yeah.
And what was the last song you listened to?
We listened to Fleetwood Mac, weren't we?
I think Albatross. Just
Albatross by Fleetwood Mac came on Alexa.
Yeah.
Big Fleetwood Mac fans?
I prefer the Peter Green stuff, the early blues stuff myself, but obviously Rumours is still a banger. But
I prefer the 80s stuff.
I prefer the 70s stuff.
There you go. That's the difference in it. Blues and pop songs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it ties in with what you guys were saying earlier.
Yeah. It's a big melting pot.
So, what's the gig and tour plans after Bloodstock?
We've got one gig at the beginning of September at the Tap and Tumbler.
Okay. What day is that going to be? Do we know?
I want to say, I'll tell you in 1 second once it loads up.
We, after Bloodstock, though, we're kind of not doing as many gigs as we've been doing in the run-up to Bloodstock because we're getting ready to record the album at the end of September.
Yes.
But from the sort of October, we're booking.
Yeah. We've got nothing booked in apart from it's the 3rd of September.
3rd of September.
At the Tap and Tumbler. And then at the end of September, we've got a week in the studio. And then a bit of a rest while we sort of get the album mixed and videos recorded and things like that. And we'll see what comes in, because the guys have got a few holidays coming up as well towards the end of the year. And we've had quite a big run-up to Bloodstock in terms of gigs. So
we've still got, in between now and Bloodstock, we've got 4 more gigs? 4 more gigs, I think. 3 more gigs, 4 more gigs before Bloodstock. Maybe Bloodstock's the 4th one, yeah. So we've got, and we've been every weekend for the last 4 or 5. It seems like a long time.
Yeah. So we've been going at it. So we'll have a bit of a rest, get the album done, and then see what happens.
Yeah, we've seen some of the posters, and you guys have kind of been here, there, everywhere, just kind of all over the country, just hammering these gigs out.
Yeah.
Is it starting to take its toll a little bit yet, or are you?
The gigging's fine. It's going back to work on a Monday.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
The thing. Yeah. It's not. We love the music. It's just work is rubbish. So
yeah. I know the feeling work always gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were at Chinnery's in Southend Saturday night, and that was a great gig. And then we got back at like 2:30 in the morning. And then, like Sunday, you've got to sort of, get your stuff together ready for Monday and still have time for your family and things like that. But like next weekend, we've got Beast Fest and then Beer Fest Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to be like away all weekend and then probably get back late Sunday. And then it's still, up at 5 on Monday, ready for the grind. No, it's all good fun. I mean, we've got nothing better to do. So
yeah,
keeps us out of trouble.
It definitely doesn't, like what you just said about it's not taking its toll. It is fun. Like this, that's what I love most, is playing the gigs. So it's really good. I like it.
I mean, there's for me and Gaz, there's not a lot of places that me and Gaz haven't played, so we've kind of got an idea whether it's worth doing or not. Not that we'd sort of turn down any gigs, but it's like, we don't want to do anything too local if we've got a local gig and sort of been there before. Let's go back and see if it's any good or somewhere new as well. So we just kind of just quality over quantity, but it has been a bit of quantity recently. But
yeah, you've definitely been doing all the gigs, and it's I mean, I hope it keeps going because we saw you at Mangata and we were really impressed. Awesome. And you were absolutely excellent live, and even like you were saying with a quick turnaround for the sound checks. We noticed a few other bands had audio issues over the weekend, but you guys were fine.
On stage was a bit weird to start with, wasn't it?
As long as it sounds good out front, but on stage sometimes it's like, I might be too loud and the guys have got no monitoring and things like that. But if it sounds great out front, that's all that matters. But this is like quick half an hour set and it's done anyway. But I'm kind of used to just getting there and you've got like 15 minutes to set up and crack on. So it's,
we played those songs quite a lot now, haven't we? You can play it even if you can't really hear everything that you need to hear. You can just hear enough to play it well. And I think we're pretty much in a groove with the first album stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it and thanks for checking us out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you.
No worries at all.
So you've mentioned a couple of times that you're already working on your second album. Is there a timeline in terms of when we can expect to hear that?
Well, we are booked in the last week of September. In terms of an actual release date,
don't know about that yet.
We are looking to do it sort of kind of like properly and get a couple of videos out and get some promo and things like that. And they always say, give yourself 3 to 4 months to build up to that. So it's going to take maybe October to sort of mix and master it before we get anything back that we're ready to burn onto a CD, so to speak. And then it'd be a case of do some videos, promo it up. So January, maybe not January because everyone's skint after Christmas. So let's ballpark February, book a decent venue in Knots, do a proper album release. But you'll definitely hear something before Christmas, maybe a single or something.
Yeah, I think you'll hear some new stuff this year, but probably I think it's really unlikely the album will be out this year, and it'll be at the beginning of next year, I think. Yeah,
still early days in terms of time frame. We're kind of still working on the pre-production side, so we're just recording ghost tracks tonight, ready for the studio and getting that. We've still got one more song to finish.
Still got a song to finish. Yeah, we've only got 9 songs at the moment.
Yeah, that's terrible. We need 10.
9.5.
And are you recording it locally?
Yeah, we're recording it at Electric Beer in Mansfield.
Okay.
Just around, where the brown cow is?
Yeah.
Around the back of there's the Dulux Centre on the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Up there and then up round the back there. I've been there a few times, and Simon is a really cool dude. They just had a big, complete refurb over lockdown, and it was amazing anyway, but now it's just like ridiculous.
It smells incredible in there. It smells like new wood. Fresh pines.
Fresh carpet and fresh wood, yeah. But yeah, looking forward to working with Simon there.
Oh, yeah. Well, can't wait for that to come out. Be really looking forward to that in the new year.
Awesome.
Yeah, see kind of how it flows from the first album.
Sure. Yeah, as soon as we get a teaser, we'll fire it over, see what you think, and if we get a single or anything to plug,
yeah, absolutely. Yes, send it our way. We'll definitely check it out and give it a plug. Yeah, really like what you guys are doing. So it'd be really good to hear.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Cool. Is that all of the questions?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Right, well, Josh, Stoff, been absolutely amazing to talk with you. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for having us, yeah.
That's the end of episode 14. Thanks again to Josh and Stoff for joining us for the interview. As we said earlier, they're going to be at Bloodstock on Friday on the Jager stage, so go and check them out if you're there. The time will be confirmed soon. Thanks again, as always, for listening, and if you've liked what you've been listening to, do please tell people about us and spread the word. If you're not already following us on social media, go and look us up on Instagram and Twitter. We're at Ready to Mosh Cast, and as we mentioned last week, we are now on YouTube. Just search for Ready to Mosh on there to find our channel. We've got some previous podcast episodes up there and also some clips of footage of the bands that we saw at Mangata Festival, so go and give us a watch, like and subscribe on there as well.